ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. How are you? How have you been? I hope you guys are fantastic because you know what? The like button is fantastic because he likes you all. He loves everybody, each and every one of you that follow here on the channel. So today's video is a little bit different. There will be no aircraft demonstration because today we're going to start our first episode of Visit Portugal. Yes, today is the first episode that you guys are going to discover with me what to see in Portugal and different cities that I have visited, and I can advise you to visit these cities if you ever go to Portugal. So stay tuned, sit back, relax, and enjoy the tour. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Lisbon, home of Fado and the colorful streets. These streets are full of lives. You can find everything that you need, everything that you want. But there are some things that you might know about Lisbon. And today, on today's video, I'm going to tell you some facts that you think you know about Lisbon that actually you don't even know they were true. So the first fact about Lisbon is, of course, the capital. As you know, Lisbon is actually the capital of Portugal. But did it always been the capital of Portugal? No, it hasn't. The first capital of Portugal was Guimarães. It was considered the first capital in the 12th century. And it was actually named the first city and capital of Portugal as here Portugal was born. If you go to Guimarães, you can see a little statue of Dom Afonso Henriques. This was the king of Portugal. He was actually born there, and he made a statue, or actually people in that village made a statue about him, saying that Portugal was born there. And no, Lisbon was not the second capital of Portugal. It was the third, because the second capital of Portugal was Coimbra. Yes, Coimbra in the 19th century had the title for the second capital of Portugal, and then Lisbon got that title years after, or actually lots of years after. So these are some cities that you can visit as well, Guimarães and Coimbra, but we'll get into them further in this series when a new episode comes out, and if of course you like a little bit of history of this country. So next, let's get going to another fun fact. Let's know one more fun fact about Lisbon, the Torre of Belen. Yes, the Torre of Belen is a beautiful architecture tower that is built in the heart of Lisbon. It's a must-see location for tourists if you want to check the heart of Lisbon, of course. Did you know that this tower was actually a prison in the ages of the discovery? And it was used during the Liberal War in the 19th century. So yep, there you go guys. For those of you who think this tower was just a tower, it was actually a prison in the 19th century. So you might ask yourself, what's the name for the people that live in Lisbon? They are called Lisboetas, but that's not the only name they have. They have a second nickname, and that second nickname is Alfacinhas. What does that mean? Well, in English that means little lettuce. And there's a reason for that. They were called little lettuce because in the past Portugal was hit with a little crisis, and they only had most of vegetables to eat, and the preferred vegetables was lettuce. And that's why right now, if you go to Lisbon, you can call them Alfacinhas. Did you know Lisbon is actually the home of one of the top secret recipes in the whole world? Yes, that is called pastéis de nata. You can try making yours at home. You can Google the recipe. You can try to get the recipe from someone else, but you will never know the secret of this custard tart in Portugal. They are so good and so delicious. You can make it from anyways. Myself, I've tried to make it a lot of times at home, but they are never the same because they have a secret recipe, and there's only 3 people in the entire world that know the original recipe. Another place to visit is the Oceanarium, and there's actually a fun fact about it. Did you know the Lisbon Oceanarium is the biggest, largest tank indoor in Europe? Yes, it's located in Parque das Nações in Lisbon, and you can visit this oceanarium. It is a really nice oceanarium to visit inside. You will discover lots of species, lots of new things. But remember, when you get in that oceanarium, you're in the biggest oceanarium tank of Europe. So now let's talk about numbers. 11 miles. Does that mean anything to you? Can you get anything from that? Well, it's a really nice explanation. 11 miles is actually the size of the bridge Vasco da Gama, the biggest European bridge with over 11 miles. And just something else to add to that. Have you ever heard about a world record Guinness that 15,000 people attended a dinner? Well, that dinner was on that bridge. So, nice to know. And that was in 1998. So 15,000 people had a dinner on the bridge of Vasco da Gama. So now let's talk about gambling. Do you know where the biggest casino is located? Well, not the biggest one in the world, but the biggest one in Europe. It's Casino Estoril. Yes, nearby the city of Lisbon. It's the biggest casino in Europe. So if you want to go play casino games one day, and if you're over 18, go there. It's a must. So now we're done with those fun facts. Let's talk about places that I went. So of course I went to Casino. It is big, it is huge, but I cannot take pictures inside, but I have an exterior picture of it, so I'll post it here so you guys can see the outside of it. And it's really nice at night. It has lots of colors. Another place that I went was, of course, the Tower of Belen. It's a really small castle, let's say, like you actually were building it in sand, but it's funny how the structure is outside, and to know a little bit of his story, and knowing that that was actually a prison in the ages of the discoverment, it makes it more important. Such a small piece of architecture was actually a prison back in times. Next to the Tower of Belen, you'll have what's called the Padrão of Descobrimentos. This actually in English is the border of discoveries. If you go close to it, you will find there's a little story of each detail that is actually on this big, huge stone. Next to the Padrão dos Descobrimentos, you will have a big map of Europe, and there of the world, and there you can actually see the map and what Portugal tried to discover. If you go a little bit further, you will have, of course, the center of Lisbon with these this beautiful yellow architecture building that is called Terreiro do Paço. I don't know really about this story, but it is a really famous local city and place to visit, and I do advise you to go there. For example, other places to go, of course, is Cascais. If you go on a summer, you will see this beautiful beach. There's not a lot of spaces, but the water is really clear and really enjoyable to go. Really warm, and you will have lots of fun. Of course, there's lots of places other to visit in Lisbon. For example, you can go to Sintra and visit Quinta da Regaleira, a city that is really not far from Lisbon, maybe 10 kilometers away, more or less. And you can find a little underworld. It's just magical and beautiful. I can drop the website here on the bottom, and you can see more about that. Another thing that I visit, of course, is Palácio da Pena. This is a little castle located just near the Quinta da Regaleira in Sintra. If you visit, you will fall in love with this historical palace. So guys, this is basically it of Lisbon. There's much to see, but I don't want to make this video too long. I hope you guys enjoy it, and I want you to see you in the next episode. I'll let a little voting here in the bottom if you want to see a city from the south or a city from the north. I will not tell you which city I will go next, but I just want to know, south or north. If you don't vote, I'll just assume myself. So guys, thanks for watching, stay around, and have a nice day. Bye bye guys.